Welcome
to Film Shapes,
the podcast.
Why am I alive? You're Bonnie's toy. You are going to help create happy memories that will last for the rest of her life. Huh? What? Oh, yeah.
Okay, hi guys. Today we're talking about Toy Story 4 and we're joined by Bryony, hello.
Hello.
And Daisy making her debut. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Now, I saw this film a couple of weeks ago now. Sorry, Rolly's in the corner producing today. Hi, Rolly.
Hello.
Good. Yeah, I saw it a while ago. When did you guys see this film?
We saw it
In
when
the last week of the school holidays,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
that
okay.
would have been just over a
Week and a half ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, it's made a bag of money, so I don't really need to introduce too much. But this is the fourth film in
Yes.
Pixar's Toy Story series, directed by Josh Cooley, and it stars the voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Keanu Reeves, etc., etc. Now, this so far, it's sitting around nearly $1 billion in takings. It's under Toy Story 3 at the moment, but it should probably overtake it. And actually, worldwide, it's the fourth most popular Pixar film.
Wow.
Really? What are the first three?
Yeah.
I think it's Incredibles, just off the top of my head, Incredibles 2, Finding the Other Fish, whatever that one's called. What's the
Dory.
other? Dory. And maybe Toy Story 3, I think, as well. Yeah. So the newer ones, yeah. Well, guys, what did you think? Bryony?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've always liked the Toy Story series,
Mm-hmm.
I thought they delivered well and truly in this one. With the different little cameos, the funny little characters. One of my personal favourites, Combat Carl, loved him.
Oh, he was only in it for like 30 seconds or something, wasn't he?
Didn't
Yeah.
matter. It made an impact.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the multiple levels of sense of humour and I think winner.
Daisy, as a 10-year-old, as an actual kid, what did you think of this film?
I thought I really liked all the different characters. Like, I liked how there were just so many different personalities in it.
Okay. Now, you guys have seen all three before this, I suppose. 1, 2, and
maybe?
3? Oh.
I probably
have.
Yeah.
I probably have, but I don't really remember.
Or you would have not been born when the first one was released, I imagine.
I don't think so.
I've
Yeah.
definitely watched the first one. I
Yeah.
know that.
She has seen them, but whether they're in her recent memory
Yeah,
or
right.
not.
Yeah, they're not.
I'll be honest, I hated the first one.
Why?
Really?
Hated it.
Why?
Was it the opening song? That turns
that's
a lot
terrible.
of people
yeah.
off.
No, I just thought I couldn't see what all the fuss was about. And maybe I watched it. No, I definitely watched it without having kids. Like, I was not a father at that time. And so my kids wanted to see this at the cinema, and I said, all right, well, you probably need to see 1, 2, and 3 before you see number 4. So we went on a bit of a rampage. I let them watch number 1 because I remembered I didn't like it. Then I joined for 2 and 3, which I hadn't seen. And I kind of thought, oh, actually, yeah, 2's pretty good.
I would have liked you to re-watch number 1 with the new context of being a father and see if you still
Yeah.
felt the same way about it.
Oh, I did see like little snatches of it and thought, yeah. I mean, the animation's much worse, isn't it, in 1?
So am I remembering correctly, like this was one of the first kind of 3D animation
I think so,
I
yeah.
think
films,
so.
and that I
95,
think that's
yeah.
why there was such a lot of hubbub about it. That and
Hubbub,
Finding
yeah.
Nemo. If my memory
Finding
serves,
Nemo was made around then?
I think
bit
it was one
after.
of the early,
Yeah.
like the two of them. I remember it was a bit like, wow, the technology.
Yeah, probably a bit, but yeah, I mean, the technology has improved a lot. So if you go back to number 1 and look at that, it kind of looks a bit bodgy now. But it wasn't that; it was just that I was irritated by the first one. But the next 3, I think, are better films. Maybe they've got used to the characters or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe because after the number 1, it's just throwing a lot of flack at the Tom Hanks character, who can be
Yes.
a little bit obnoxious in the first one because he's the popular toy.
Yeah, okay.
And
Wait, which
maybe
one's
you enjoy
that?
the others because it's always him being forgotten or replaced or...
Oh, yeah.
Which one's he?
He's Woody, isn't
He's
he?
Oh,
Woody.
Woody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't really know, like, the actors.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that is Woody,
Yeah, thanks for the analysis.
I wonder whether that might... are you a Tom Hanks fan?
I never used to be, but I think around since probably Captain Phillips, I've started to warm to him a bit. Yeah. But yeah. Maybe that's it. I thought number 2 was pretty good and it whipped along rather quickly. 3 was so-so, and 4 was probably the second best of the series for me.
Second best?
After number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the first film my kids saw at the cinema. So it was kind of good fun watching them watching this film, if you know what I mean. So
How very meta.
Yeah. Well, it was all right. Now, let me just ask a few things. Do you have favourite characters in this series, Daisy?
Maybe Forky.
Okay, why?
I just liked how he would rather be trash than a toy. Like, I just found that cool.
Yeah. Well, he was trash, wasn't he, really?
Yeah.
People who haven't seen it, it's a plastic spork, isn't it?
Yes.
With
pipe cleaner arms,
yeah.
Google eyes, and plasticine mouth.
Yeah.
Memory.
Yeah.
No, and he had popsicle sticks for his feet.
Yeah.
So, Bryony, your favourite characters? Characters?
I'd have to say what's his name? I'm losing words.
Dog.
The motorcyclist, Kaboom. What was his first name? Duke Kaboom.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Well, it took me a while to realise that's Keanu, isn't it? Yeah.
I didn't realise until I actually sort of looked up the cast afterwards.
Yeah.
But I just thought his the little posing and it had me laughing out loud.
Yeah.
He was funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him a lot. But yeah, I did notice in the cinema, because it was quite a packed cinema when we went, there were very clear moments where all the children in the cinema laughed.
Okay.
But you did not hear the undertones of adult laughter. And then there were other moments where you could hear only adults laughing.
Really? Yeah, okay.
It was quite interesting that there was quite a clear divide on the things that tickled people.
Well, if we're kind of getting into spoilers a bit, but when Woody jumps out after Forky out of the car, or van or whatever, and they're walking back, and there's a lot of exposition, a lot of sort of background explaining why you should be a kid's toy and all this kind of stuff. I think my kids just started looking around and sort of half sleeping, and those exposition scenes, they just didn't dig it. But when there's toys flying around and fighting and all that sort of stuff, their eyes are boggled. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you need a little bit of up and down to appeal to a large audience.
But is this supposed to appeal to parents or to adults, I should say?
I think that is the intention. Well, I know when the first one came out, what year did you say that was?
I think it was 95. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 95, I was in year 5.
Oh, my age.
Yeah, so I have actually grown with them.
Okay.
So I feel like with other series which are designed for children, once you get to sort of adulthood, you're just like, oh, yeah, I don't have time for that.
Right.
Whereas I'm quite happy to carry this one through into now I'm in my mid-30s, and I found it equally as entertaining, and not just because of the nostalgia, I would say.
Do you think it's because as the kids themselves have to give up the toys, and this is not my theory, I think I've heard this from Mark Kermode, for example, it hits a note with adults because it's like giving up the kids when they get older. Oh. Do you think it's something to do with that? Daisy's eyes just went boggled there. What? What? You're giving me up. I don't know. Do you reckon there's something in that?
I hadn't really considered that. I think for me, I feel like it's a giving up of my own childhood.
Okay.
And accepting the fact that, like, I look at my one childhood toy that I still have. Like,
what's that?
It's this weird little munted bear called Chubbles.
Oh, Chubbles!
Which is this kind of bizarre little nugget of a flat-faced Ewok-looking thing.
Okay.
Which, in its day when it worked,
if
you put it in the sunlight, it'd go...
Oh, what?
And giggle at you.
In the sun? It was a solar-powered toy?
No, it was light-censored. It had a battery.
Huh.
But when you shone light on it, it would have this really awful robotic giggle.
Does it still make that noise?
No.
I was
We
gonna get it
saw
in.
this ad on YouTube, which was just a bunch of the
Like old restored chubbles.
yeah, and it was
Kinda
really creepy.
But it sits in my cupboard, and every time I walk in my cupboard and I see
You see
Chubbles there,
Chubbles.
I think about how he might be up to all sorts of adventures while I'm not there.
Sometimes I feel like
Okay.
that, when I throw my toys and I'm like, oh no, what if they're alive?
Right, exactly. Do you have something like a Woody or a Buzz or anything like this, Daisy?
No,
What's your
What
go-to
about
toy?
Hedwig?
yeah, Hedwig, a little owl from, most people know it's from Harry Potter.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I sleep with her, and sometimes I throw her on the bed, and then I think, what if she's alive?
Or she'll claw your eyes out if she's alive.
Oh yeah, but
sure,
they don't move when people are around.
Well, that's the whole idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're not around.
So I think that idea of that sort of childhood wonderment, that's what captures me, as opposed to feeling about it being related to my own child, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that's what irritated me in the first film. Do you know what I mean? Just their voices, and they're so earnest about everything, and but now I think I've come around to the series a little more. Yeah. It's still not, I don't think it's in the top 5 of Pixar films, though, as far as the whole
Really?
lot goes. Yeah. Do you have a favourite Pixar?
Oh, well, I think that Nemo and Dory are Pixar, are they not?
Yes, yeah.
I'd have to say they're up there with
Oh,
my
yeah.
favourites. I
Okay.
love the characterisation of the Australian animals.
Oh, yeah.
Was Madagascar Pixar?
That's DreamWorks, I think. It's a
Oh,
different
dang
one.
it.
Do you like Madagascar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 7 of them, isn't there? Probably 4, 5. I don't know. 4. Isn't there?
But yeah, I like Finding Nemo and Dory.
I haven't seen the Dory one.
Who did the little robot? Wally.
Wall-E. That's Pixar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my
Oh,
favourite.
Wally.
That's great. Yeah.
I love Wally.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that's top 2 for me. Maybe Incredibles and Wall-E. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Incredibles.
Yeah, that doesn't really tickle
Really?
me either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 or 2?
Neither.
Huh. Okay.
There you go.
But I like the start of all the Pixar films where the little light jumps on the eye.
Okay. Right. You're
That was
hooked
the
from the
best part of
beginning.
The best part.
That's incredible. You love it from the start. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Toy Story characters are fabulous. I love. I think the Buzz character is brilliant in his earnestness, but he's just.
I love his inner voice.
That was
he's
good,
just
wasn't
so stupid.
Yes.
He's just not a bright toy. But his earnestness makes up for his shortcomings in the intelligence department.
That's
and
true. Yeah.
listening to his inner voice was, it was a point
That
of
was a nice touch.
hilarity.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought throughout.
Oh, speaking of, the only real chuckle I got from this film, I don't suppose you're supposed to. It's not a comedy, is it? Is it a comedy?
Yeah,
Sort of,
There were
yeah.
many points where you laugh, of course.
Okay, so stone-faced Grant then only laughed at one scene, and that was when the Ducky and Bunny are describing what their plan is to get the key off that old woman.
Oh,
And
that's
Oh,
brilliant.
yes. I
That's
loved
brilliant.
that bit.
Each one is just attack her face. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I love how they're just like, okay, what about this one? And then it always leads into attack her face.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a brilliant moment. I thought some of the new characters were really quite fun.
Yeah.
The cop, McGiggles.
The cop.
The cop, the
You know
little
she-
miniature.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can't remember what type of toy. I think the Australian equivalent of that type of toy would have been like a Polly Pocket.
You lost me. I don't know.
See,
what it is.
I remember those, and they came in their own little shell cases, and they were like little miniature toys.
Any
and
idea, Ollie? Polly Pocket?
Polly Pockets.
We're a different generation.
And there was
clearly.
a boy version, which was Max something, Max Power. Or,
I
That's
liked,
a washing
I can't
detergent. isn't it?
remember.
I liked, what was her name? Gabby?
Oh, yeah.
I liked how at the start she seemed nice, and then she seemed evil,
Yes.
and then at the end she seemed nice again.
She had a nice character arc, didn't she, that one?
Yeah.
She irritated me, that one, though.
There was
Yeah,
some
no doubt.
complexities there.
Some complexities, yes.
Because she seemed evil, but she really just wanted the voice box.
Yeah, she wanted a kid, didn't she? She wanted to be owned, I suppose. Owned? Seems a bit... she wanted a partner. I don't know.
She wanted to be loved.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's good. That's the way to say it.
Yeah.
Just before I forget, the characters of the Ducky and Bunny, the actors
they were
playing
good.
them, it's a comedy duo called Key and Peele, and Peele is the
Yes.
director of Get Out and Us.
There
you know that
go.
film?
That's
Yeah.
a funny
What?
little segment. That's where
Just
you
go,
can
"What?"
see their kind of sort of horror genre
Wait,
sort of
Us?
films.
Us, yeah.
Oh, is that the movie that I'm terrified of whenever I see an
Yes.
ad for it?
Yes,
Probably.
Yeah,
is
that
the
one.
But
Great
that
film.
actually makes sense now with their what's our plan? What
Yeah.
are we going to do? And then the most horrific and ridiculous
Yeah.
stories come out as to how they're going to get this key.
Yeah, that's good casting. yeah.
Attack the face.
That makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Now, what's the deal with this Bo Peep character? Can someone enlighten me? Like, she was in which one? The second or
she
the
was
first?
in all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was in 3? I don't think so.
I don't even
She was
remember.
given away, I think,
Okay.
around that time.
So she's come back as a sort of feisty heroine rather than just a shepherdess.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, in the original one, she was often
Like,
she was borrowed by Andy, the boy character, from his sister's room to be the damsel in distress, and Woody would always rescue her.
Okay.
Woody
And-
liked her.
Yeah, so they had this budding romance, but then she was given away because Andy's sister no longer needed a nightlight.
Okay.
Because she'd grown brave enough to
Well, she
sleep.
was a lamp or something?
She was a lamp.
Wait,
yes.
what?
She was a nightlight.
What? Really?
She was the decorations underneath the lamp.
Okay. You have done your research on this, haven't you?
No, I just remembered.
Oh, really?
Well, see, I always struggle a bit with her because I find she's a ceramic figurine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't find her she's not a likely toy character.
Well, didn't her arm crack off at
yeah.
one point? Yeah.
But she was just fine and she, like, bandaged it up.
That's it. They were showing how kick-ass she was.
But the
basically.
idea that, she's hanging around sand pits to be played with by random children, I just can't imagine a random child coming into a sand pit and going,
I'll have
"Ooh,
that."
Look, a cracked figurine. I'll play with this one. I kind of struggle with her being a plaything.
Well, it's a movie. It doesn't have to be, like, realistic.
You're told, Mum. You're told.
Jeez.
Well, yeah, but maybe that's the thing. She's not a plaything anymore. She's a feisty, independent female lead.
Well, I think she must have realised pretty early on in her lost toy existence that
Yeah, the wilderness years.
She's not the most... but her three-headed sheep are
Awful.
fantastic.
Oh, really?
Fantastic.
Oh,
I
awful.
love them.
How are they awful?
Oh, it's freaky. It's a sheep with 3 heads, and they're called goats anyway, aren't they? Billy, Goat, and Gruff.
Billy
Yeah.
Goat and Gruff, yes.
That's
Billy,
not even a goat.
There's something wrong with this.
Yeah, that's
But
weird.
that's what makes them great.
Yeah, okay. Now, just before we wrap up, do you think this is the final Toy Story film?
I don't think so.
I think it could be. I think Woody's exit from the main...
Oh, actually.
No, we can spoil. This is fine. We probably should have warned that. He's dead, right? He dies.
No.
What?
What? Were you...
I must
You
have fallen
thought he
asleep.
died?
He chose not to continue on with the child, with
Yep.
Bonnie, and to stay as a lost toy. with
Oh,
Bo
that's
Peep,
right. Yep.
Because he
Okay.
realises that he really, because of his vintage nature, perhaps, that he's come to the end of his loved
Yes.
toy career.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
remembered something.
Yeah.
I loved how Forky was always like, bo 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 bo.
My kids are still doing that, actually.
That was one of
Yeah.
those moments where
Bo-bo.
the entire cinema of children laughed,
Yes.
but not a single adult.
Right.
And,
I giggled a little bit.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
you.
Thought that was pretty funny.
giggle.
Yes, that was quite popular with
Yeah.
the cinema. The boo-boo-boo.
Right. Good. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that's the end of the partnership of... It's Woody and Buzz as the partnership for those 4
Yeah,
films, really,
they-
isn't it?
yeah.
So
But you never know. They might get like a new mainish character.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
It's possible.
they could...
possible.
Is it now, this sounds a bit weird, but is it possible they reboot this in about 5 years as a live-action film?
Oh, because that's the current fad.
Yeah. Do you think? Like they're doing with what? Aladdin and Lion King and Mermaid.
And go back to puppets.
No, actors playing
No, but
the toys.
Oh, actors actually playing toys.
Yeah.
What, with just heavily costumed?
Maybe shrink them? CGI?
Yeah.
What about the three-headed sheep?
Yeah, there are a lot of things
See,
we
that's what I
can't
mean.
do,
I
right?
feel,
Yeah.
I feel like you'd have to turn to puppets like the original Star Wars. That's the only way to do it.
What? What are you talking about?
Well, a lot of the weird alien creatures are actually puppets.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
they're done with puppetry
yeah,
because
I thought
they're
you were
not
talking
using.
about Luke or Han Solo.
No. The weird ones, the one that the characters that you can't dress a human up.
Yeah.
Because they're small or bizarre or furry or have 50 heads.
Well, was
or
it
whatever.
Kenny Baker's inside R2D2 in that case? There's a human inside the R2D2.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like what's that one? Even the more recent Star Wars film, the weird little bird things that turn.
Those bloody annoying.
I've lost his name.
Chewbacca
vegan.
Are they called porgs or quargs or something?
What
puppets.
Yeah. Okay. No, they modelled them on puffins, didn't they? And they just CGI'd around the puffins.
Don't know.
Anyway.
They looked like puppets.
What a way to finish the Toy Story 4 chat. Any final words on Toy Story 4?
Go see it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you hadn't seen it and you listened to this and you got spoilers, that's too bad.
Would you watch it again, guys? Daisy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would. But
I think
it's
if you're
all right.
someone who likes to find the wonder in everyday objects, I think this is a good film for you.
I feel like you always notice and understand things more the second time you watch it.
Yeah, maybe there's little hidden gems in there. Yeah. Well, and that's decided. Go see it again.
Yay.
Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye for now. Bye, Bryony. Bye, Daisy.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.